Welcome back to Florida at the voice of college football. And man, the Gators just stay hot on the recruiting trail, landing 3 commitments in the past 24 hours now. And that's not even including Ty Jackson, who committed 26 hours ago. I mean, if you would have told me 3 weeks ago that Florida would now already be in the top 17 of the 247 rankings, I probably would have called you crazy. But I mean, it's not elite players. We've got a couple of good players. It's not elite players, but we're building the roster to hopefully later on get some of these elite players.
Yeah, I think to feel really good about the state of the class at this point, you would probably have to find a way to pull one of these elite guys that they're going after. But they've certainly found a way to avoid it being like a disastrous recruiting class. They filled it out with some guys that they like, a couple higher end guys like Lewis that we're talking about, and then a couple 3-star flips that we'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Looked like you could very well finish with a class like outside the top 35 or something like that. Just a couple weeks ago. So, considering they really kind of had a late start capitalizing on this momentum because it looked like Billy Napier was getting fired until 3 weeks ago. They've done a pretty good job, I think, trying to close things out here. And we'll see, maybe they pull a surprise and land someone elite.
Yeah, they absolutely have. But let's talk about Byron Lewis first. 5'11", 200 pounds. It's pretty good size right there. It's a 231st ranked prospect in the country to form the 247 composite out of American Heritage High School, which really is a running back farm.
Yeah.
Like compared to like almost any other high school. I mean, some players that come off the top of my mind are like Sony Michel, Mark Fletcher, who's at Miami right now, Khalil Herbert, I'm not sure he's still at the Bears, but he also came from American Heritage. But you look at the guys who they produced, and just another 4-star that's going to go to a Power 5 school in the University of Florida. I mean, it's definitely a player that I want just from the fact that you look at their history.
Yeah, American Heritage. Florida's had some really nice results from American Heritage over the years. I mean, Quincy Wilson is one that comes to mind there. I know his brother, maybe not so much in the minds of Gator fans, but a guy that's still playing in the NFL right now. No, yeah, I mean, I think it's nice to see them be able to go in and get these South Florida guys, especially a guy that Florida State wanted, was committed to Florida State when you already have 2 other running backs in the class. Granted, not the most highly rated guys. Like he immediately comes in and becomes the best running back in the class. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Chad Gasper hurt for a decent amount of his senior season? So they might be worried about his ability to contribute in year one because of that. So that might explain why they're willing to take 3 running backs with what looks like, even with Montrell being gone, a pretty deep running back room next year.
Well, when you look at the running back room, Montrell is going to be gone. So that's one scholarship guy.
Yeah.
Cam Carroll, I'm pretty sure he's on scholarship. So that's second. Yeah. And then it looks like you're probably going to have at least one of Webb or Kaheem Daniels transfer. So that's 3 running backs right there. So you bring in 3 more through this class. That really fills out the room.
Yeah, it kind of it does make you wonder if the staff is anticipating some attrition within that room, beyond the guys who are just graduating out.
Definitely does. But when you look at Byron Lewis as a player, as I already said, 5'11", 200 pounds. He doesn't have that elite breakaway speed, but he's good speed. He has good acceleration, That's what I found from him. He's not going to, if you're just trying to chase him down, you might be able to catch up to him. But he's going to hit the hole and he's going to go quickly. And he's going to break those runs for 10, 15 yards at a pretty fast rate. He's also really good at breaking tackles. Obviously, this is high school players, so it's not the same level as the SEC or really any Power 5 or Power 4 level players. But, I mean, you see him breaking these tackles, and he's doing it with ease. I mean, they just can't really keep up with him at that level.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a good fit for the kind of run game that Billy Napier likes to run. I mean, like you said, good at breaking tackles. He runs inside, interior between the tackles a lot, so it seems to me like the kind of guy who, I don't want to say necessarily prototypical Billy running back, but certainly, the kind of player that I think Billy wants to find to get in this system.
And I think he has a pretty high upside as a pass blocker too, as a running back. And I think he kind of fits well with Waltez Clark, who is kind of more explosive and can be more of a receiving back. I mean, I would love to see both of them in the backfield for plays. Because then, you can send Clark on a halfback wheel and then you can just send Lewis on you can be blocking a block and go route, or I think it could be a really well play to work for us.
And that's an element that really we haven't seen a ton of in the offense. I mean, obviously Ball had that touchdown out of the backfield, the catch on Saturday, but it's not really a massive part of Billy Napier's offense. So I'd be curious to see if that can be something that it develops a little bit.
Very true. But let's get into the next commit. Jahari Medlock, 3-star offensive tackle who was committed to Cincinnati. He is the 744th ranked prospect in the 247 composite, 6'6", 278 pounds, a very slim build. You know, he's probably going to need to put 30, 40 pounds on if he wants to start at the SEC. He had offers from Georgia Tech, Georgia, and Cincinnati, so he has some decent offers. So it's not like we're getting a guy that Cincinnati found. He is somebody that the local schools in Georgia have found and said, hey, they're willing to offer him. So definitely a developmental piece. But, I mean, we've seen Billy in this, or Rob Sale and Darnell Stapleton, develop these guys on the offensive line. So I don't hate the take. I think as long as you finish with a guy like a Solomon Thomas to close out this class, then it's not a bad take.
Yeah, I mean, I think like it reminds me a lot of Pierre Louis, kind of a similar sort of take there. A guy that's probably a project guy, a guy that needs to put on some weight, but I think has a lot of potential. It seems like a solid flip to me. Like, it's not a guy that when you look at the rating, people are going to go crazy about, get super hyped up about, but I think it is a nice pickup, a nice player that I think they can develop, which I think we have to feel pretty good about their track record developing these kind of project guys along the offensive line. They've done a good job. Yeah,
they absolutely have. Now, I'm not going to tell you that this guy is insanely underrated and like he should be a 4-star or nothing. I'm not going to say that. Definitely still very raw as a prospect, though. But the next guy we're going to get into, Muiz Tunikara, I think this is a guy that honestly should be higher rated. This is like that underrated prospect that everyone's talking about. 839th ranked prospect, 6'3", 195 pounds. That's like a day one ready body right there. So not only is he have a pretty decent upside, he can also play as a freshman. When you look at his skill set, he is a self-reported 4.40. So for a high school player, that's really good. It is self-reported, so you can take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But if you're in that range of the 4.4 range, that's really going to fit well in this offense when you have a guy like a DJ Lagway who is going to be looking downfield, and he has that 6'3.5" build. Maybe he gets up to like 6'4" even, to where Lagway throws it deep. He can outrun the DBs, but if it's an underthrow or something, he can still go up for it and make those big plays.
Yeah, I was gonna say when it kind of started looking like this was a likely flip for Florida, and I was looking into this guy, I think the frame is the first thing that stood out to me, because Florida doesn't really have receivers that are built like this.
No.
It's just not really the type of player they've gone after. So I'm really curious to see how that could elevate the offense, especially like you said with DJ Lagway, a quarterback that reading the field high to low, like he's looking downfield, he's looking to find those big plays. And I think now that he's got a big body downfield, I mean, I'm curious. I think that he, Wiz does have the chance to compete for playing time more so in year one than you would like expect from a 3-star receiver.
Especially if you look at this wide receiver room, we're going to be losing Elijah Badger, Chimere Dike, some less on like Jaquavian Frazier, so we don't see a lot of. He's a senior. Did have a catch against Ole Miss, so he does get some playing time. So there's definitely going to be room for these young, talented guys to step up and try to take that starting role. One thing he does need to work on is his route running. He's not a horrible route runner, but if he wants to become an elite wide receiver, he's definitely going to need to be more than just that one-trick pony that just runs down the field and gets open.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's probably the thing, like when you look at a 3-star prospect like this, you kind of expect that. They're going to be a little bit rough around the edges in terms of like the foundation of their game. So, I mean, we'll see if that is a limiting factor for him. But like, I do think, even if he is a bit of a one-trick pony right off the bat, I think that one trick is something that this offense can use, is especially going to need, I think, like you said, with DK leaving, because DK is kind of that bigger body guy right now. Yep. Like, if you don't have him, I mean, I think you're going to be looking for someone to replace that production. I mean, obviously, I think we both agree they're going to look for a portal receiver. But, I think there's going to be, opportunities here for playing time early.
Yeah, and quickly, we're going to get into another receiver who's currently in the class, Nashawn Montgomery. He's been taking visits. He took a visit to Alabama, and then last weekend he took a visit to Louisville. I don't exactly think he's going to end up finishing in this class. The reasons of that, I am not exactly 100% sure. Could be the fact that Florida's been looking at other receivers. I mean, we just took Tunikora, so there is that. But also, they're still looking to try to flip 5-star receivers, Dallas Wilson and Jamie French. So I'm not sure if that sat well with.
Yeah, like I think that's probably the right read on the situation. Yeah, I mean, like obviously you kind of start to wonder about guys that are already in the class when you're pretty obviously pursuing several guys at the same position. Take one of them, and I mean, like you said, they're still going after French and Dallas Wilson. Like we'll see what ends up happening there. I'm kind of with you. I mean, I don't have any particular like intel or insight here, but this just does kind of seem like a guy that's trending in the direction of decommitting from Florida. You know, like you said with Alabama, Louisville, and Pursuit, like especially Bama, if they end up really putting the pressure on with the way things have gone with Florida's class, like it's hard to imagine you keep him, which it'd be a bummer if you don't. I don't think it's the end of the world if you don't, but certainly in a class that's already small and it's what, like 18 guys and 2 of them are specialists right now.
I'm pretty sure we're at 19 now.
With today.
Lewis.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, 19 guys, 2 of them are specialists. You don't really want to lose a receiver like that, but I mean, it's just kind of the reality of the game.
Yep.
And, we'll see if they can close out with a French or a Wilson here. It would be huge.
Yeah, but the Gators are still hot on the trail right now. Who are we projecting to be like our next commit? I'm thinking probably Onis Canabani.
Yeah, that's probably what it looks like.
4-star corner committed to Tennessee. Seems like he's trending in our direction. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's committed by the time this video is uploaded. So you love to see it for the Gators. We're 8 days away from signing day now. So we're hoping the Gators can finish off with this. I mean, all this momentum we're having, but also finish off and get some of these elite prospects like Solomon Thomas, especially.
Yeah, I think that's the big one. I think if you can close out with Solomon Thomas, I think you got to feel pretty good about the way you finished up this class here. But yeah, momentum on the field, had a bit of momentum on the trail, and kind of looking to try to expand that as we get close to signing day here down the stretch.
Definitely. We'd like to thank everybody who watched the video. If you stayed to the end, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, go Gators.